Alright, this is John Kohler with OKRaw.com. Today we have another exciting episode for you, and this is a very important one for literally, I think, everybody that watches this video. This is a food, in my opinion, you guys should be including in your diet. It can definitely help you out. I mean, every food is unique unto itself, but this one can have some special properties that you may not be getting anywhere else, especially if you're on a vegan diet or you don't eat any animals. Now, even if you eat animals, this is a food you should be eating, and pay attention on the reasons why. Anyways, the first thing I like to say is I have been a raw foodist for like the past, I don't know, 23 odd years now. Started back in 1995, and I have been eating 99% raw, but there are about 10 and maybe a few more foods that I eat that are actually not raw, because I believe they have some health benefits and they do need to be heat processed in order to achieve those benefits, or some foods you just unfortunately can't get raw. So be sure to check my other video. I'll put a link down below in the description to a video, 10 foods that I eat that are not raw. This is actually one of those foods, and I want to make a specific video about this because I believe it is so important, and especially for those of you guys that actually don't like the taste of this food, because I know some of you guys have tried it. There's a new way I'm going to show you guys, probably never before, that you guys could start enjoying it actually. Alright? So let's get in the show. Number one, the food is soybeans. Here's some soybeans. These are organic soybeans here. And this is the food that you want to consume more of. The beans, the family of bean plants, and beans in general are really good foods. Now the problem is, if you're on a raw foods diet, you know, you pretty much shouldn't be eating most beans raw. Yeah, you could eat sugar snap peas raw, and some standard string beans raw, and carob beans, you could eat those raw. And there's plenty of beans that you could eat raw, but and you could sprout some lentils and eat them. But some beans should not be eating raw, including the soybeans, right? Soybeans have different kinds of inhibitors within them, phytates and lectins and all these crazy things that should be cooked before you eat them. Otherwise, you could get actually quite sick. And actually, that's the reason for cooking the beans, is to break some of those toxins down. Now, I'm not just recommending cooked soybeans here, because that, in my opinion, is not good enough. And now you're thinking, but John, soybeans, man, they got them things called phytoestrogens, man. They're bad. There's all these studies that soy's bad. So here's the thing, like, this is my opinions in this video, and this is what I believe to be true based on what I've seen, and just that's pretty much what it is. So here's the thing, you know, in my opinion, soy is a problem when it is isolated, right? So when you take a whole soybean, you extract out just this component of the soy, which they have done, you know, feeding studies with different animals and fed them isolates of soy, so soy protein isolates, you know, all them vegan protein powders. I think those are not good, especially if they're made out of soy or even other proteins that are just concentrated. That's not good. But we want to focus on whole foods, foods in their whole natural original state, you know, least processed as possible. So in my opinion, soy, when it has been processed, is bad, but whole soy processed properly, and that's the key word there, processed properly, in my opinion, is really good. Now, processing, it could be cooking, could be sprouting, could be doing many things to it, but the only way I will eat my soy is if it has been actually cooked and then fermented, right? And we'll talk to you guys about that in a second. But the whole thing is I want you to include more beans in your diet, whether you're on a pegan diet, a vegan diet, a paleo diet. You want to get more beans in your diet. They are so good for you. Beans unto themselves have so many different benefits, right? They have lots of fiber that can feed your beneficial flora in your intestines, right? And your beneficial flora in your intestines make what's called postbiotics. So they eat the food that you didn't eat, and then they basically poop out, for lack of a better word. They create different nutrients for us, and these are very important nutrients, and you're not eating a wide variety of different foods, and especially foods rich in fiber, you're not going to have a big spectrum of these secondary metabolites that the bacteria make, okay? The other thing is that there's the second meal effect, or even third meal effect. Actually, when you eat beans, it actually will lower the amount of blood sugar that's going into your blood after you eat a meal with like whole sugar. You know, not like white, even probably white sugar. But I'm talking about, when I talk about sugar, I talk about like sugar found in fruits and vegetables, right? And so it's going to blunt the insulin response when you eat beans. And if you're avoiding beans, then you're going to have a higher response. If you're eating beans, that's going to be a lower response. And that's totally proven by science. So that's why I like to eat beans. But the only way I'm going to eat them is not in the whole soybean form, even if they're sprouted. Actually, I ate sprouted soybeans once. I got really ill, started throwing up. Do not do that. I do not recommend that. But the way I like to eat that is this right here. It's actually called natto. So this is a manufactured product that they make, but the ingredients, if you look on here, it says Megumi natto. It's basically ingredients: organic soy beans, Bacillus natto. 2 ingredients, that's it. So this is very minimally processed, and these are literally whole soybeans in here that have literally been fermented. And how it works is you take the soybeans, you soak the soybeans, you cook the soybeans, so then they're cooked. John, they're cooked, man. You're a raw foodist, they're cooked, all right? But then after they're cooked, then you actually add bacteria in there, special Bacillus, subtilis in there, and then basically you culture them. So now the soybeans don't really become alive, but now the bacteria added in there makes it fermented, and it creates different metabolites as it's being fermented. So I would consider this a live product because it has enzymes in there after it is fermented. And more importantly, you got to make sure you don't get one that's actually pasteurized after it's created, because then you're going to lose the living foodness of the natto. So let me go ahead and show you guys this natto. So inside the natto gets kind of crazy, right? We're going to pull off this little thing, and you can see, like, look at that. It's all super stringy, and the beans are flowing everywhere. But this is actually some of the biofilm that actually the bacteria makes. We're going to put this down here. And then if you can see the beans, these are basically just whole beans. So it's just cooked soybeans with the bacteria in there. And this is how they look. And this is how it makes these strings. And it's so crazy. You can stir this up. It's going to make all these crazy looking strings. Look at that. Now the problem is, if you smell this, you may not think it smells that good depending on where you're raised. Especially if you've been eating McDonald's your whole life. You're going to be like, that smells nasty, John. Well, I think poop out of somebody that ate McDonald's smells even nastier. This, to me, I mean, I don't think it smells bad. It smells fermented. But now the next thing is when you eat it, right, it's kind of slimy. And look, all these strings are coming out. I mean, I find the taste agreeable. Some people might disagree with me. It is slimy in your mouth for sure. I'm not going to lie about that, but I don't mind the taste. It's really soft texture. The beans like kind of melt in your mouth. Just chew them up a little bit. Really slimy. Has a unique flavor, you know. Some people don't mind it. Some people love it. Some people hate it. Probably most people probably hate it. But the reason why I eat the natto, 2 main reasons. Number 1, because when it's fermented, it creates an enzyme called nattokinase. Nattokinase is a very important enzyme that literally could get into your blood and clean up your blood, so your blood flows better. You know, they've done a lot of research on this and shows they sell little nattokinase supplements in the health food store. Instead of buying the nattokinase supplement, I'd rather eat the natto to get the nattokinase along with other nutrients in the natto. So if you have like high blood pressure, this may help with the high blood pressure, help clean out your arteries, all that kind of stuff. So it's definitely good for your heart. Now the other reason why I eat this is probably even more important to me, because I already eat a plant-based diet, so I'm not going to really have too much high blood pressure issues. This could also, you know, increase your HDLs, your happy cholesterol. But the reason why I eat it is because it has a nutrient that is not normally found in a vegan diet. It's actually vitamin K2. Vitamin K2, you know, some people, I have friends that say, John, you don't need to eat natto for the K2, man. Our body will make K2. All right, so our bodies may make K2. I don't want to trust in my body that it's going to make K2 out of the vitamin K that I'm eating in all my leafy greens. I want to just get the preformed K2 because I believe it is that important to you. And I want to encourage you guys not to gamble with your health when you can just eat some natto. And I'm going to show you guys a really cool way to eat it in a second, if you don't like the taste and flavor of the fresh stuff. But the K2 is super critical. it has to do with like your bone health. If you have calcium and the other cofactors to create bones, but you don't have the K2, you're not going to produce bones. So they've done animal testing, which I'm not in agreement with, and fed, you know, like some rodents the natto, and their bone density increased. You know, I have seen this to be a challenge in my personal life when I got bone density testing. You know, and this was before I was eating the natto, so now I'm eating the natto. I need to get retested to see what's going on, but I'm confident that my bones are going to be healthier and in better shape because of the natto that I'm eating, and now I'm not going to be deficient in the vitamin K2 that I potentially was not getting previously. The other thing is our teeth. People forget our teeth are also bones, right? Pretty much. And there's a lot of people into raw foods that have teeth issues, right? And I think K2 may be a missing nutrient, and that's why I'm eating the natto. K2 and the natto kinase is super important. Not to mention, you know, when the bacteria go to work on the soybeans, as you can see fermented here, they look a lot different than these. You know, cooking will break down some of the, basically the toxins in the beans and the soybeans, but then furthermore, once the bacteria get at it, they literally break down some of the toxins still existing after you even cook it even further, so they make it more of a, I would say, human compatible food for us that's even more digestible, that you're going to get more nutrition out of than just simply, you know, cooked soybeans. So I would encourage you guys to eat some natto or other fermented beans. Today I'm specifically talking about natto, but you could make also other kind of fermented beans. You know, I have the tempeh, so I have raw tempeh, also made out of soybeans as well as other beans, but that's a little bit different kind of culture and different bacteria, so that's going to produce a little bit different nutrients. Not the same as the natto. Now, the thing I want to mention next is, if you guys don't like how slimy natto is and the smell and how all this all looks, look at that, man. People might think that's gross. Looks like schnotz. There's a new way to do it, and to get this new way, I literally had to order it from Japan because there's no major resellers in the United States that I'm aware of that is actually selling this product yet. Hopefully soon. So you can see all the Japanese writing. I don't know what that says, but we're going to go ahead and open this up on camera for you guys. I know what I ordered, but I don't even know what they sent me yet because I haven't opened this one up. Alright, inside we have an invoice. Now, I want to tell you guys the prices. So, these guys, Megumi Natto near me, it's like, I don't know, 4 ounces, I believe. No, 3 ounces. It costs $3.99, depending on where you buy it. It might be more or less. This is the organic one. Of course, you could go to your any Asian store, and they'll have some natto that they could sell you, like in these styrofoam containers imported from Japan. Generally, those are frozen to import them, and the freezing may affect some of the enzymes and nutrients in there. But those guys might be like $2 or $3, and a lot of those unfortunately have a lot of different seasoning packets and seasonings with MSG and all these things that I do not recommend eating. Here's the invoice in Japanese I got for this package here. Now this package, this box here, this was like $150 right here. And basically what I ordered is this stuff right here. Oh wow, this looks like some really good quality stuff here. If you guys could read Japanese, you would know what that is. Basically it says, I don't know what it says where, but it freeze-dried natto. So this is basically natto, the fresh natto that they put in a freeze jar that has been basically, they freeze it and then they suck out the moisture under vacuum at low temperature. So you're going to preserve all the enzymes. You're going to preserve the natto kinase in there. You're going to preserve like the most nutrients. You know, freeze drying is the future of preservation technology and also makes things amazing to eat. So I will say that I did order 2 different companies freeze-dried natto. This is one of them, and then here is the other one. So I could see like the difference instantly is that this looks to have like larger pieces, and this one on the back, I don't know if you guys can see that, but there's like a lot of like dust, natto dust, and in this one there's very little natto dust. So I will post links down below if you guys want to order this stuff from Japan, where you could get it. It's actually, you got to order from Japan, and Chrome has a translate function so you could understand it. But I want to go ahead and actually try both these guys for you on the camera to show you guys. Let's see what's up. Let's see. I gotta get a knife here. All right, we got this up. So we're gonna go ahead and open up this bag here. this new bag I got, and we're going to check it out. Alright, so first I'm going to smell it. Okay, so I'm smelling the Fresh Natto. You know, it definitely kind of has a smell to it. I'm not going to say it stinks. Some people might say it stinks. My friend Rick would say, oh, that stinks. This one actually doesn't really smell like much. I mean, it has a small smell, but it doesn't really smell like much. The next thing I'm going to do is we're just going to go ahead and I'm going to eat some of this freeze-dried natto, which just looks like little grains. Much more agreeable flavor. It's chewy and crunchy. It's not all soft, and a lot of the flavor has been literally muted. Although once you start chewing it up, it starts to congeal in your mouth. I definitely like this a lot better, and the other thing is, this is super concentrated, you know. The Fresh Natto has a lot of water weight content, and this is the water has been removed. So I don't know the exact, you know, how much of this is 3 ounces of Fresh Natto. Probably not much. But definitely, this is a much better way to eat it, so you can get the benefits of the natto. Now the interesting thing I want to do is, I want to take some of this freeze-dried natto, and we're going to go ahead and pour it in water. And I want to see if it actually gets like sticky and all this kind of stuff and stringy again. So we're going to come back at you in a few minutes after I stir this up, and we're going to show you guys what the freeze-dried, rehydrated natto looks like. Alright, so this has been soaking a little bit. I want to show you guys what it looks like there. You can kind of see it's kind of getting a little bit of stringies, but really not as much as the fresh one. So this is not going to instantly turn back into fresh once you soak it, although the texture, I imagine, will be softer. Yeah. I mean, I really don't like the soaked. I think I would say, like, I like the freeze-dried crunchy the best. Next, I would prefer actually to eat the Fresh Natto. And then on the bottom of the list, I'd say the soaked, rehydrated natto. Now, the thing is, like, you could use this in recipes. So how I like to use this, I don't generally eat this stuff straight. I'll make a raw food soup, usually with pepper juice and other things. If I remember, I'll put a link down below to a video I made where I make my pepper soup. And I'll just take 3 ounces and just basically dunk it into the pepper soup. And then as I'm eating the pepper soup, I'm getting carrots and peas and vegetables from my garden all cut up and chopped up, and seaweed. Then I have some natto, some artichoke hearts in there, maybe some olives or some capers. And I just get, you know, a few things of natto in it, and it tastes great. Other thing you guys can do is you could just take this and like add it to things. You could add this to soup, sprinkle it over your salad to get this into you. It'll add some unique flavors, also some nice crunchiness, maybe like in place of croutons, which in my opinion, bread products, they're not healthy. So that could definitely be really fun. Now, I do want to talk about this. You know, I recommend only the Megumi Natto that is produced in Sebastopol, California. Mostly available online, mail order. Not too many stores carry this, although if you are in Southern California, Northern California, maybe Nevada, you could get it. I'll have a link to their website down below so you could check it out. You could also order them online, although it can get quite expensive. Natto is not really that hard to make yourself. Basically, you're just going to get some soybeans, soak them, cook them. You're going to get basically a bacteria and inoculant. You're going to inoculate them, and then after you inoculate them, then you're going to make sure you want to keep the same proper temperature. It's around 100 degrees, and that's basically going to proliferate the bacteria, and then you're going to have your own natto. So by far, it's easiest to make your own for sure instead of buy something pre-made. I'm not really into cooking myself, so I'm just buying it pre-made. Maybe one day I'll figure out how to do it myself, and then I'll make a video about it for you guys. That being said, you know, I only would encourage you guys to get organic natto. Very important, right? Soy is one of the #1, probably one of the top GMO foods that are out there. And so the thing is, John, how do you know that the soybeans you get from Japan are non-GMO? So that's pretty interesting, right? I can't really read Japanese, or I can't really read the label to know if there's an organic symbol on here. But basically, I'll share with you guys what I learned. I learned that you know, if you guys are buying the natto or soybeans from Japan, you want to look for the word domestically sourced soybeans, right? From my understanding, and correct me if I'm wrong, if the soybeans are grown in Japan, they are non-GMO. But if the soybeans are being imported into Japan, they are probably GMO. So you want to always make sure if you're buying soybeans or natto from Japan, that it is from actually domestically produced soybeans. So both these freeze-dried nattos that I bought are from domestically produced soybeans in Japan. The other thing I want you guys to be aware of is there's many different ways of drying the natto. Some may just be sun-dried, some may be basically fry-dried. So make sure when you guys buy the natto it says freeze-dried. Don't accept any substitutes, because if they do other kind of vacuum frying for the natto, you know, you will lose the nattokinase component of the natto, which in my opinion is probably one of the most important to keep your arteries, you know, unclogged and free. That being said, if you're on like blood thinner drugs, please consult your doctor before starting any kind of natto, because this stuff will probably work against the drugs you're on. It's kind of like what if you try to eat like leafy greens, that may also thin your blood. So yeah, that's pretty much it. My experience with freeze-dried natto, fresh natto. Now you guys know about it. I want you guys to start eating it. Links are down below to get the Megumi natto. Links are down below to actually my favorite natto, freeze-dried, and then this other brand that I didn't like so much because it is so literally dusty inside there. Like, I mean, here's another one, has lots of dust in there. Although these come in smaller sizes, and this was just in a 1 kg or 2.2 pounds. This is about like $70 worth of freeze-dried natto. And actually, I keep a little bag of this stuff in my car, so when I'm driving and I get hungry, I just like, you know, eat some of it. This is quite good as a nice snack. Also, when I travel too, I love taking the freeze-dried foods with me. So that's pretty much it for this episode, man. I want you guys to try some freeze-dried natto, some fresh natto. Post your comments down below if you liked it or not. I would love to hear your thoughts on this topic. If you guys want more episodes like this where I go into specific foods that I am eating that I believe are valuable to me, have helped me, and could also help you, please be sure to give this video a thumbs up. Also be sure to click that subscribe button right down below and make sure you press the bell to get notified when I come out with new episodes every 5 to 7 days. Also be sure to check my past episodes. My past episodes are a wealth of knowledge. Over 500 episodes on this YouTube channel dedicated to teach you guys how to eat more whole, healthy plant foods, including copious amounts of fruits and vegetables, which are the best foods on the planet. I do want to say that although I eat natto, my diet is not a soybean-based diet. It's a fruit and vegetable-based diet with a couple mouthfuls of natto here and there a couple of times a week. All right? So with that, my name is John Kohler with OKRaw.com. We'll see you next time, and until then, remember, keep eating your fresh fruits and vegetables. They're always the best.